Good morning, everybody. It's morning here. Sorry it's a bit dark, but the sun hasn't really come up yet. We had some questions about falling. We did rolling a little bit back. Now we're going to work with, if I can't roll for some reason, how do I hit the ground without injuring myself? Most people, as you'll agree, don't like to go to the ground. That's why a lot of people quit martial arts in the beginning, because they're afraid of falling. You have to get over that fear so that you can continue your training without injury for a long period of decades rather than a couple of weeks. This method of break falling in English is called Zenpo Ukemi. Zenpo is just a direction. It means kind of forward. Ukemi means to receive the ground safely, or to receive something, to take something. Comes from the verb ukeru, which means to catch, to get, or to receive. So normally when someone falls, what do? We do this, and we hit our hands, and we end up breaking our bones, our wrists, injuring our shoulder, because we tense up, we inhale, and we hurt ourselves. Hospitals are filled every day in the emergency room with people with broken wrists because they land wrong, or they twist their arm because they have fear of the ground. And as a martial artist, it's important to make the ground your friend. So rather than falling hard and injuring myself, I want to fall very softly. Very softly, and I'm going to talk a bit softer because that's the idea. When I'm falling with this Zenpo Ukemi, my hands are in this shape. Go ahead at home and make this shape. Just put your hands lightly in front of you, from the tip of your middle finger all the way to your elbow. When we strike the ground, it's a bad word, strike. When we receive the ground, or the ground receives us, we're going to float down at an angle as best we can and redistribute the weight of our body onto the ground with the most surface area as possible. So when I fall, I relax, exhale, and now instead of hitting here, I'm hitting all the way down to here, all the way in this triangle shape. Some people cross their hands and some keep them out, but you want to keep this triangular shape here, relatively here. Don't have your arms too far out or not too close. They're just enough to absorb the impact. And when you fall, you don't want to fall loudly either. Listen to the difference. That's not good. The difference is, the only thing you should really hear is slight movement of your cloth and your exhalation. Don't forget to breathe out. That's a major component of this movement. So a basic Ryote version, start from your knees to kill the fear, is hands out, spread your legs, relax, exhale as you fall forward. Think about your angle, relax. From this position, just push yourself right back up by pulling your legs back. It's like a push-up. Here. Hands can be crossed again or out. So Ryote means two-handed here, relaxing with your body. Sometimes people throw a leg as a counterweight. That you can do as well. Your leg going up also allows you to perhaps kick the opponent or do a kaiten. Kaiten is when you rotate and completely roll. So that's acceptable to use your leg. Now, some teachers have taught me to look straight down. With my big noggin nose here, you're going to hit your nose. So I tend to tell people to turn your head as if you're listening for the train. Here. That way, if I need to, when I do impact the ground, I can continue over in that kaiten. If you want even more of a challenge, rather than Ryote, use katate, which is one hand. So I go down on one hand there to absorb. Your arm could be broken. It might be stuck in a ogyaku or something. So you have to learn to absorb with one hand. Here. You don't always have to go forward in the Zenpo fashion. You can actually put a leg out and fall rather than projecting yourself forward. And then mute means empty of hands. There's no hands there. Perhaps your hands are tied. You have to learn how to fall and absorb It ain't pretty to look at from here with no hands. Much harder to do. It's a good challenge though. This is common sense, everybody. The idea of this Shizen Gyo-un Ryusui. Shizen Gyo-un Ryusui is a concept of the natural flow of clouds and water. Much of martial arts is about receiving attacks and surviving or hitting back at the right time to defend yourself. Unlike a real opponent, the ground is with us 24/7, so you better become friends with that earth. Make earth your ally rather than a fearful enemy. The more that we're on the ground, the more we become familiar with it. Just like the kids in class, it's a good idea to stay familiar with the ground instead of being afraid. When you're in your 50s like me, it's a pleasure to be able to get down on the ground. A lot of people I know never ever squat or bend down or go to the ground. I get to do this. It's like being a kid again. How many people out there would kill to be able to just go to the ground? If you're in a hospital bed or you're sick or you've lost a leg or an arm or something, you can still learn how to fall and use gravity to your advantage without injuring yourself. It's all in the attitude. A lot of people quit because they're afraid of the ground really early in the martial arts. They're so petrified of falling. I have made falling something I love to do. That way it doesn't become an obstacle. It becomes another tool in my chest of self-defense. And with snow coming today, how many times have we fallen going up or down the stairs on ice, snow, in the shower? We can avoid trips to the hospital, broken bones, and a lot of healthcare bills. So practice this Zenpo Ukemi here. Just 5-10 times a day, and eventually it'll be just another good skill of self-defense. Thanks for watching, you guys. This was a basic Zenpo Ukemi front breakfall. Of course, eventually you want to be able to do it from standing here. That's another video for another day.